just want to talk about vanity for a second. I don't know why I haven't, fully analyzed or connected the dots between where this association and expectation came from. But style, first of all, before we start there, first impressions are everything to me, are absolutely everything. Not necessarily someone else's first impression on me, but my first impression on them. Like, I will not leave the house looking any kind of way. If I look bummy, that's on purpose. But if I look bummy, I'm not, looking crazy. I'm looking cute, but I'm not dolled up, how I usually might be. But I still, might comb my eyebrows, do my edges, make sure my lashes look right if I'm not willing to, go full out that day. So, because I feel like you do not get a second chance at first impressions. And if you meet somebody looking crazy, smelling crazy, talking crazy, then that's all they're going to remember you as. No matter whatever other interactions y'all have, that first meet will be the one that's stuck in their minds, right? So that's very important to me. And so that connects to what I just, touched on with style. And this is where vanity really comes in, because I've learned about myself that if I am not willing to go out with you in public because of the way you dress, it's not gonna work. Number one, I'm not gonna change your style. I'm not gonna do that, because that's who you are. I'm not gonna change that about you. I'm just, if it's something I can't accept, I'm not gonna try to change it. I'm just gonna leave. Because I remember I was in a relationship, and every time we went out, it was just sweats and a hoodie, or sweats and a big t-shirt, and it never felt like there was any effort put into, going out with me. There was no effort into your appearance when you go out with me. And I'm not saying you have to look like, Michael B. Jordan or, Morris Chestnut when you go out. You don't got to be Dapper Dan, but, put some effort into what you look like when you step out of the door. Because I feel like, when people say dress for the job you want, it's bigger than that. It's, dress for the day that you want, dress for the experience that you want, dress for the attention that you want, if you're, looking for attention in whatever way, which is fine. Everybody has their quirks. But I realized that, I wanted to go out with him less and less because of the way he dressed. It was no effort. It was just lazy. And, before I realized that, I would start doing the same thing. I would just kind of throw anything on and then go. I don't like that. I like looking good when I walk out the door. I like, sometimes it's, kind of hard to put together an outfit some days, because all you want to do is just walk out and wear PJs, and which is cute. I got some cute PJs, but I can't, go out and wear, boxers or, some PJs like that or anything. But I appreciate the effort that goes into, wanting to look good when you go out. And so when I start to get to know someone, I'm very cognizant of their physical appearance. And please, please note that when I say this, physical appearance is not everything. It is not everything. It definitely has a good part of it, but the way someone looks is not entirely who they are. So I don't judge a book by its cover, but I will flip through the pages. I'll skim, I'll read, I'll scan, to understand what I'm reading and who I'm getting to know. But if there's no effort put into the the taking care of the preservation and the upkeep of the cover of the book or your appearance, then I feel like that's not only a reflection on myself, but if you're around someone long enough, you pick up those habits, and I don't want to pick those up. So when I say physical appearance, I'm not saying their looks. I mean, are you taking care of yourself? Are you washing your face? Are you making sure even if your hair is not done? Because I haven't gotten a retwist in maybe a month and a half, 2 months. But my hair, it doesn't look all crazy. I feel like there's steps you can take to, if you're not getting a haircut. I mean, I've seen people who haven't got haircuts and they still look good. So it's possible. It's possible. That's vanity for me. I care so much about my physical appearance. Oh, okay, here's the connection. The analyzation of my obsession with vanity is because, I grew up at, within a predominantly white elementary school, where there was maybe like 3 or 4 other black kids other than myself in a class of like 30 white kids, and there was like 1 Asian kid. And so the white boys, they wanted the white girls, and the black boys, they wanted the white girls. And so I grew up feeling very ugly and out of place. And I've begun to transform into this beautiful young woman, and I used that to my advantage because growing up feeling ugly as shit, now that you're beautiful, now that you're considered beautiful, now that you're pretty, like, you're gonna use that to your advantage, right? So I expanded on that. I just hopped and went for it, perfecting myself. I worked hard for the body that I have. I went through a horrible year of acne. Probably maybe a year or 2 of acne. And small side story. Yes, I am the type of storyteller to tell you 10 different stories while I'm trying to tell you one. I am 100% concrete in the fact that I had acne the way I did. First of all throughout high school, very minimal acne, not too many breakouts. I primarily had clear skin. And then about 3 or 4 days before I left for college, I started getting the worst acne I've ever had. It was all over my forehead. It was all over my jaw, my cheeks. It was like someone had just kept pressing a button, and more would just pop up. One would go away, 3 would pop up. And so I went through 2 years of that, and I firmly believed that my body was trying to tell me that I was in the wrong place. Now, I'm very grateful for the previous, experiences that I've had, the opportunities that have been presented to me. Through those 2 years, I learned a lot. I transformed as a person. I'm not the same person I was, at the beginning of that journey. But my body was right. I was not in the right place. I was abusing my mental and emotional health while I was attending that college and in that relationship. In that relationship that I just talked about earlier, I, again, even worse, acne. And my body kept telling me, you are not in the right place. This is not for you. And finally, something clicked and I listened to my body. And, a couple weeks later, after all of that ended and I left it all behind, my skin started to clear up. It was crazy. I think that is one of the most transformative, mental switcheroos that I've ever gone through. In that now I'm very cognizant of what my body is telling me. What my skin looks like around certain things, what, my heart feels like, what my soul feels like. Well, what is my stomach saying? Do I feel sick around you? Do I have butterflies? Do I feel nothing? It's just, I don't know, maybe hearing this, you might be able to connect the dots for yourself and throughout your own life, what your body's telling you. So, back to, vanity and being vain about my appearance. I love feeling beautiful. I couldn't care less. However you use that colloquium, I don't care. I couldn't care less about, me being beautiful to or for somebody else. I don't care. As long as I look in that mirror every day and I think, God, you look good today. You look good, girl. Man, I don't care. I don't care. I probably look better on my bummiest days than on my best days. And, that vanity, that, working on myself, I went through, that from the ugly duckling to now this beautiful young woman. In that first, step into that, that's all I cared about was how other people thought of me. I'm not perfect. Yes, I went through a stage where that's all I cared about was how much attention and who it came from, and how I could take advantage of that. And then I was able to go through this beautiful, just heartbreaking moment of realization that, babe, if you do not think you are beautiful, if you do not love you for you, who else will? Who else will? And that is one of the realest things. You can say that over and over again and it might go over your head. But if you do not love yourself, I pinky promise you on my own life that no one else will. No one can teach you how to love yourself but you. They can influence you. They can show you ways how to not, how to not love yourself. I mean, let's go back to that relationship I just talked about. I mean, I thought I was being loved by the greatest person in the world, and I was being abused mentally and emotionally. That was one of the most abusive relationships I've ever been in my life. And that vanity, like, I didn't love myself when I was in that relationship. And so I kept, trying to appear, that appearance, right? If you think, if you work on the outside, if the outside's perfect, the inside will will just kind of work itself out. No, it won't, babe. No, it won't. He couldn't teach me how to love myself. But through that experience, I learned how. So maybe, I guess you could say, but I don't want to give all the credit. I feel like that, oh, they helped me learn how to love myself. That gives too much credit. I had to do a lot of learning on my own to learn to love what I hated about myself, or learn to love what I couldn't change, or learn to change what I wanted to work on, or learning to change what I could, knowing what I had control over. And, from that ugly duckling to being obsessed about what other people thought of me, to being in this freedom, to being in a space of freedom that, holy crap, every time I walk past my mirror, every day, even on my worst days, I'm like, dang, even on your worst day, you look kind of cute, girl. And the world will follow. The world will follow. As soon as I think I'm ugly, the world says I'm ugly. As soon as I say to myself, you are the most beautiful person in the world acts accordingly. And so, your thoughts are one of the most powerful things. And my thoughts control my appearance now. That's it. Because who else controls me except for me? Right? And so, that's all I wanted to talk about, tonight. It's maybe 3:15 in the morning on a Friday night. 3:15 on a Saturday morning. I don't know. I just... Thank you for letting me share.